connection between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay. And she's right in a sense. You can't just throw that word out. Just like we spoke before at the beginning of this video. You can't just throw that word out. But there is plenty of things that Trump has said or had tried to do, just like the Muslim ban, to it kind of leads up to, I think that dude's a fascist. So one thing that I'm pretty sure we both can agree, you know what I'm saying, if you're Democrat, Republican, or anything in between or outside those labels, that words matter. If you are calling somebody something, or if you're calling yourself something, the definition of those words matter. And unfortunately, in the past with the Republican Party constantly taking words like woke or critical race theory, words like that, or phrases, they purposely manipulate. And I've done a video of not Mark Rubio, Rufo. Yeah, I did a video about him purposely hijacking these words to gaslight people, you know. So we need to make sure when we're having these honest political conversations that we're using these words with integrity, knowing the definition, and not just throwing it out. You know what I'm saying? You can't just call people racist and they just disagree on like minimum wage or something. Like, you can't just be loose lips like that. You know, labels like evil, which I've called Ben Shapiro, and I had to like dig deep inside myself to be sure I want to call someone like a Ben Shapiro that word, a bigot, racist. And then the word of today with Mr. Donald Trump is fascist. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we need to make sure that we're using these words with responsibility, because if you continue to call everybody and their mama a fascist, the words start to lose its value. So when you actually run against a fascist, or you're presented with someone who has fascist tendencies, no one's going to really care, because you just called the last 10 people fascists. You know what I'm saying? So these words need to be used with responsibility. You know, I know as cliche as that sounds, but just real quick, I'm going to give you a simple definition of what a fascist is, because some people make up their own definition and it totally miss a point. But a fascist is someone who supports a political system led by a dictator with total control, where opposition is suppressed and extreme loyalty to the nation or race is demanded. Fascism promotes nationalism, limits individual freedoms, and often use propaganda and force to maintain power. Pretty simple. Of course, you can get into the details of what that actually looks like through historical evidence and in facts. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a really simple just breakdown of what that word means. Unfortunately, it seems like Miss Ana Kasparian, whatever her last name is, seems to be confused with what that means. You know, now I don't know if she's intentionally doesn't know or kind of confused. I don't know if she's doing it for the grift. I'm not really in a position to try to be in a position to be like, she's a grifter and we just need to count her as that. You know, I kind of want to see a little bit more of, you know, this new road that she's taken. But unfortunately, when she's sitting here talking on TYT, it's not a good look. It comes off a little shady. It comes off a little disingenuous, and using the same talking points that Republicans have been saying for years, and it's been debunked so many times. So let's go ahead and take a listen and try not to laugh so much.
Now, on the other hand, Republicans, you keep denying something he 100% did say. He said, I want a total and complete shutdown on Muslims entering the country. That was back when he was running in 2016. Everybody keeps, you know why they pretend that he didn't say that? Because that sounds uncomfortable. because it's obviously bigoted.
Okay, he did say that. Donald Trump says a lot of dumb crap, okay? A lot of hateful crap, a lot of dumb crap, a lot of undemocratic crap. But like, let's just finish the rest of the story.
Okay, so first off, first red flag. It's okay to say that about a child, about, a young adult, 15, 16, I don't know if you guys have kids that age. My oldest is 22 at the moment. When he was 15, 16 years old, he said some crazy things. So in that sense, you will say they're just saying some dumb stuff. They don't know better. They're going to grow up and kind of realize the things that they were saying and doing and acting were childish, but you can't use that excuse for an 80-year-old man running for president, the highest office, some would say, throughout the world. So I don't know if that's a good, rebuttal, like the start of a rebuttal. Like, he said some dumb things like, the immigrants are poisoning the blood of America. Like, that's not something like you want to say or just chuck up to, like, he's just saying stupid things. No, that's first red flag right there.
Right? Because he said that about the Muslim ban. He tried to implement the Muslim ban. And then what happened, Cenk? What happened after that?
We fought back.
Right.
And people went to the airports, good Americans.
No, that didn't matter at all, okay? That action, I know it makes us feel real good about ourselves. I'm not trying to discount it, but we have a system in place, okay? We have a judicial system. It went through the courts. It was challenged in the courts and it was struck down.
Yeah,
Okay, and she makes a good point. Yeah, it was shut down because we have a system. Some would say it's a little fragile, but we got some things in place. But one, that was 2018, I believe, or 2017. And even if it was based off of no facts, just some would say racist, why would you want to give someone like that another chance to test those boundaries? I don't know. If someone gets into a car and they're being extremely just unreliable behind that wheel, and they got into a serious car crash the first time, didn't kill no one, okay, lucky them, didn't kill nobody or didn't kill themselves. Some property damage, but didn't kill no one. Are you now willing to give them the keys again after they haven't shown any growing up, any maturity, or any accepting responsibility of anything? No. And if you do, you're stupid. You have a mental problem. Okay? You don't give nobody the keys again, or you're a bad friend.
I got you, Anna, but I'm not going to take a chance on a guy who says, I'd like to ban you and your family because you guys are so dirty and inferior to us, and I think you're violent savages, so I'm going to ban you. I'm not going to take a chance on that guy, number one. Number two, he actually tried it. He had to be stopped before he did his fascist idea, okay? Number three, people saw all that and were like, yay, I love Trump, let's ban Muslims, yay. Be honest, okay? So we want to take another shot. And number three or four, whatever I'm on, he has his own dumbass judges now littering the country. So one of them threw out a perfectly good criminal case against him. A very, very important criminal case against him. So maybe we run into a judge who goes, yeah, I think that Muslims are dirty, violent savages. I'm just as bigoted and racist as Donald Trump. I do let it stand. I mean, Trump is saying, let's deport anyone who criticizes and protests Israel on a college campus. Not just arrest, he says arrest them and deport them.
No, I know he says that. Okay,
so is he going to try to do that? Of course he's going to try to do that.
How would that process work, considering the majority of these individuals are American citizens? So where exactly were he?
Okay, so first of all the non-Americans are screwed. You came here, you paid a lot of money to go to, wherever you're going, Syracuse, Penn State, wherever you're going, right? And he's like, oh yeah, that's it, you're screwed. You criticized Israel, and my biggest donor is a giant right-wing Israeli. Okay, so that's it. You're arrested. I rob you of all your money. I rob you of your diploma, and I deport you. We're not gonna elect a monster like that. Debbie Dingle,
Yeah.
you don't have to go to internment camps. He already said all this crazy stuff. So stop making us lose credibility. On the other hand, right-wingers, if you're making excuses for how anti-Muslim he is, he uses the word Palestinian as an insult.
Damn.
He doesn't care about Muslim lives one bit.
Donald Trump is deeply racist and he says deeply racist things, okay? I wanna make a distinction between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay. And she's right in a sense. You can't just throw that word out. Just like we spoke before at the beginning of this video. You can't just throw that word out. But there is plenty of things that Trump has said or had tried to do, just like the Muslim ban, to it kind of leads up to, I think that dude's a fascist. And second point before we get to, some of the things that Trump has said that has a lot of fascist tendencies behind it. Just because you haven't like fully 100%, transformed America into a fascist country doesn't make you not a fascist. Like just because if someone tried to rob a bank and they, pointed the gun at the bank teller and said, "Give me all your money," and let's just say, he froze up and then ran out. Do we still convict him as a bank robber? Or does he have to fully commit to, shooting somebody, stealing the money, running out, high speed chase, just like the movies? Then is that considered a bank robber? Or is that like first initial, you come in with a ski mask and tell everybody to drop to the floor? I think at that point, you might be considered a bank robber. You don't have to actually steal the money to be considered a bank robber. So just because Trump didn't transform America into a fascist country, the things that he tried to implement from his own advisors and the things he's been continuously saying for the past 8 years is kind of a hint of who he could transform himself into. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The radical left. Once again, like I said in my previous videos, who's the radical left? Am I radical left? Because I'm almost more progressive than someone like Bernie. You know what I'm saying? So am I radical left? Am I the vermin he is speaking about? And if we go to our definition of what a fascist is, let's see. Suppression of opponents. Political opponents are silenced, imprisoned, or exiled. For example, under Hitler, dissenters in Nazi Germany were often sent to concentration camps. It sounds like he's trying to suppress his opponents. I mean, he's saying it, not me. This is coming out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So do we have to wait for him to do it? Or can we just not take our chances on someone who's saying it to not give them the opportunity to do it? Because now the chess pieces are a little bit more in place with Project 2025. I don't even want to take my chances with that. Say what you want about that Project 2025. I don't even want to take my chances with it. Don't think so. Try again next time, or maybe not. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. I said, no, they're not humans. They're not humans. They're animals. I'll use the word animal because that's what they are. You got to get these people back where they came from. You have no choice. You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country.
You're going to lose your culture. You're going to lose your country. You're going to lose your country. That sounds like propaganda at its fullest, to fearmonger into thinking that XYZ people are going to take something that belongs to you, which is a whole nother conversation, but that sounds like propaganda. Let's go to our definition. Use of propaganda. The government controls media to spread positive messages about the leader and ideology, such as Nazi propaganda, glorifying Hitler, and demonizing enemies. Just on Fox News a couple weeks ago, he was like, how come Fox News doesn't speak kindly about me? You guys used to do it all the time. Like, he only wants to be on shows that speak wellly of him. And then demonizing his enemies, demonizing other people that he can use to use as a scapegoat for his voters. Who's these people after your country, after your culture? The immigrants, illegal, legal immigrants, black people or urban people, anyone who's non-white, it seems to be. So,
Anybody believe in genes? You guys believe in
genes. There we go.
Murderer, I believe this. It's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
It's the
It's crazy, bro. Like, I can't believe in my lifetime I'm hearing this. Extreme nationalism. The nation is glorified above all else with intense loyalty. Let me see. Is that the right one? Yeah, okay. The nation is glorified above all else with intense loyalty expected. Mussolini promoted the idea of Italians as a superior Roman people. So who's the infected gene that he's talking about? Okay, hey, go ahead and figure that out and let me know in the comments. I didn't already figure it out. I want to know, do you know? All right, it's not that hard.
enemy from within, all the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country. I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Wow, to me, that was crazy when he said
That
this.
hate our country. I am your retribution. I
am your retribution. It is kind of crazy that Hitler said that same thing. And when it comes to Hitler, which, you know, weirdly enough, I'm going to have to do some research, a little bit more research. It just kind of just gives you that feeling of, I have to learn about who this person is. But unfortunately, to have these bigger, deeper conversations, I kind of have to do that. So, but one thing that I've been kind of noticing is his rise to power, people loved him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come off day one like, I'm gonna, kill all the Jewish people in this, like, in war domination. Like, no, he came off as a positive person, a person who wants to do best for all people. And then some things kind of switched in the middle, So once again, I don't want to give people like that even the opportunity. And the only thing that I can do as an American citizen is vote. So let's go ahead and go back and hear what Anna has to say.
The Arab American community needs to be reminded.
Honest, okay?
Fuck down.
Yeah, I got you, Anna, but I'm not going to take a chance on a guy who says, I'd like to ban you and your family because you guys are so dirty and inferior to us, and I think you're violent savages, so I'm going to ban you. I'm not going to take a chance on that guy, number one. Number two, he actually tried it. He had to be stopped for whatever I'm on, out of perfectly good criminal. Anyone who criticizes and protests Israel on a college campus, not just a.
These individuals are American citizens. So where exactly were he?
Okay, so first of all the non-Americans are screwed. You criticize you're right wingers. If you're making excuses
between Donald Trump, the person who says and does racist things, and the notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors.
And he said it himself. I mean, you can say he's serious or not, but if someone says, I want to be a dictator, maybe, unless he's a comedian all of a sudden. I don't know. But if someone says some things, you might want to, just a little bit, remember that. Don't just discount it, because then you're gonna find yourself in a position to where you can be like, I didn't know. I had no clue. So don't be that person.
And I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
First of all, his entire cabinet had to threaten, not cabinet, administration, his White House team.
By the way, the other thing.
No. Once again, just because you didn't succeed in something doesn't mean that you actually are not labeled that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. Like, you can't try to make excuses for people, and especially if it's something like our country. Once again, if it's kids and toddlers, okay, got you. But this is a grown man, and we shouldn't be trying to give this person, even if they're just being reckless with their words, an opportunity to enact anything that he wants to do. Anything.
Say we're all going to mass resign if you roll out tanks against American citizens.
Okay, so if you think he's a fascist, wouldn't that justify taking physical action against him?
No, because that doesn't help. That devolves us further into fascism.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah, no. You didn't make the point you think you made. No. We have a system in place, and as imperfect as it is with the electoral college and just the gerrymandering and just some of the stupid things that involve voting, we have a system, and we were successful at not giving Trump a second term the first time. So once again, just like Cenk said, we don't need to go to violence, because that's only going to make things worse. I said this in my past videos. If Trump was to have gotten assassinated, it really would have been game over, because people would have lost their minds. We don't want to do that. We need to show him, as American people who love this country, to vote or not vote him in. As simple as that. We have a system in place that we can use. So what do you mean? Like, should we try to, like, no, let's just not vote for him. That simple. Come on, Anna.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a difference between somebody shooting someone, that's fascism, and saying, I disagree with them, don't elect a fascist prick.
There you go.
Who says only white people are awesome and everybody else is garbage and should be banned. No, look, I'm not gonna take a chance with a monster like that.
I know, you're focusing on whether or not you're gonna vote for him. I don't give a damn about that, and that's not what I'm asking you about, Cenk.
That's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. If Cenk thinks that Trump is a fascist, then he's not gonna vote for him. That's simple. So that is the main thing. That's the only argument to make. But let's hear what she has to say.
I don't think that this rhetoric, especially from elected members of Congress, is helpful at a time.
I don't agree.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, Anna, why do I not agree? Because, so Trump's helpful is rhetoric?
No, his rhetoric is awful.
Okay, if you don't want to be called fascist, stop saying fascist things. It's
simple. If you don't want to be called a racist, don't say racist things. We can't be tiptoeing around important conversations like this. Oh, don't call him a fascist because it's not helpful. Not helpful to who? Half of the country probably don't even know what a fascist is, and half of that is because our media doesn't want to educate. They just want the clicks and the ha-has and you know the fear mongering, but they don't want to educate. And just like Charlemagne, the guy said on CNN, like, the media hasn't spent enough time talking about Trump's fascist rhetoric, his fascist actions. That's important. Then maybe we wouldn't be so confused, and maybe we wouldn't be so divided in who he really is. So it is important. Like, we're all grown-ups. We're all big boys. We're not like talking about like a taboo subject, like, you know, where we gotta like, you know, close our kids' ears. Like, no. If Trump is acting like a fascist, talking like a fascist, done things in his administration to where people around him in his administration said he's having these fashion tendencies, and we had to try to hold him back. Like Mike Pence himself said that Trump asked him to put Trump over country. What more do you need? And you want to give him a possibly second chance because you're too scared to call him a fascist? Man, like, that's one thing Trump does have, is balls. You know what I'm saying? And if people don't try to fight that with education, then we're going to lose. Hands down.
It's not that hard.
Okay.
Not that hard. Oh, here, let me have dinner with Nick Fuentes, who's a Nazi, Kanye, who's a Nazi, and let me say there's good people on the Nazi side. Oh, it could be pro-Confederate guys. Might be guys who are pro-slavery who are good guys. Let me do all of these things. Let me say that immigrants are poisoning the blood of our nation, Nazi term that is only used in the past by Nazis, and then say I'm going to ban Muslims, I'm going to do this and this and this to all the other ethnic groups, and then go, oh, I can't believe you called me a fascist. No, he is a fascist. I'm very happy to call him a fascist. If you enjoyed this video,
it's like, I don't know. Once again, I don't know what's going on with Ana. I don't really watch a lot of TYT. You know, I might see clips here and there, but I don't know what you gain from making, not even like playing devil advocate or like just trying to make a strong argument for the other side. Like, she didn't even do that. She just like, but did he really like succeed in doing it? Like, that's not the point. That's not what makes someone fascist, is if they completed something or not. You know, so once again, whatever she's trying to do, you know, I wish her the best, but we got to do better. We got to know better. We got to act better. You know what I'm saying? So once again, if you disagree with anything that I said in this video, hit the Discord link down below so we can have that one-on-one talk, or let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below. And like always, let's have that conversation.